Pierco has publicly released his core for Cosmo Police Galivan and UFO Robo Dangar. These are two arcade games from Nichibutsu from the 1980s. Cosmo Police Galivan is an action platformer, and UFO Robo Dangar is a vertically scrolling shooter. Update your MiSTer now to play them. The MiSTer FPGA forums has added a dedicated section for cores based on older PC hardware such as the PCXT core. The section is called IBM PC PCXT Tandy 1000. This new PCXT core is one I really want to try out, but haven't had the time to dedicate to it. Once I finish some projects, I'll take a deep dive into that core because older PC hardware is of very interest to me. I'm sure this new forum section will be very helpful when I start to try out this core. Unfortunately, it turns out that the SDRAM module will be required for the Ninja Turtles core. It turns out that the RAM will not fit in the DE10 Nano's BRAM. This will only really affect beginner setups, since a good way to slowly get into MiSTer is to just buy the DE10 Nano and a USB hub. There are many cores that will work without an external SDRAM module, but to take advantage of all the cores, an SDRAM module is a must. Ultimate MiSTer, a vendor of MiSTer FPGA products, is now selling a SNAC-IEC adapter for the C64 core. What this device does is allow you to use original Commodore 64 IEC devices, such as disk drives with the original core. So, if you have any original Commodore 64 disk drives, then you can use real floppy disks with the core, giving you a more authentic experience. The adapter costs 50 euros. Work on the Geo Pocket is being concentrated on the CPU's design verification. So far, no bugs have been found, and test coverage for some modules reach 100%. Early work like this helps to build a more accurate core when starting the development process. The PlayStation core has had its turbo mode improved for even more speed gains. When this option is turned on, you can get some nice improvements in frame rates in some games. Here is a chart comparing some games' frame rates with the old and new turbo method. Of note are that Soul Reaver and Revolt either reach or exceed 30 frames per second, and Diablo now reaches a full 60 frames per second. If you want to know the details of how the turbo mode option was implemented, there's a detailed Patreon post by the developer regarding this feature. I reported before about a custom database creator by Epsilon. This allows anyone to create custom databases that will download custom files to your MiSTer every time you run your update script. Now, we have a custom database for video presets called Video Presets by Robbie. These are video presets files you can use to easily configure a core's video settings. These presets present an idealized version of how a game's platform's visuals appeared when it was new and provides you a starting point to make your own presets. If you're interested in getting more filters to change the look of your games, check out the database's GitHub to see how to get them installed and updated every time you run your update script. And other miscellaneous MiSTer fixes and updates are, for the Inferno Arcade core, there was a sound fix by Dart FPGA, and fitter settings were modified to meet timing requirements. On the Irem M72 core, there were fixes to sample playback rates, and sprite BRAM usage was reduced. For the Ryzen core, there was a fix for mirrored sprite seam calculation, and the performance on the object engine was improved. For the Pokemon Mini core, there was a fix to the real-time clock which affected the homebrew demo shizzle. A bug was fixed that can occur when loading a new ROM or resetting the core, and remaining jump conditions were implemented. This fixes a few homebrew games. For the AO46 core, the interrupt controller was fixed. There was a sound update by user7182. KitDrinks removed the press to C need for the joysticks. This prevents configuration issues in games. An option to disable joysticks was also added, steering wheel support was added, and the framework was updated. And finally, for the PCXT core, a writable BIOS option was added, UART was upgraded to Sebastian Witt's UART 16750. This was thanks to Kitsune-san, and there were improvements to the sound mixer, thanks to Mills and Somhai. That's it for other updates. Please also try to support Sorge, the maintainer of the MiSTer project, and other MiSTer developers and contributors on support platforms such as Patreon and Ko-fi. Their hard work allows us to enjoy this amazing project. So that's it for this episode. I provided links to all my sources in the description. Make sure you also check out retrorgb.com to see my MiSTer News videos in blog form and to get more retro-related content. And if possible, support them on Patreon too. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. And if you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button and its bell icon so you can get notified of future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.